When most entrepreneurs hear you need systems and automation, they immediately picture Zapier zapping things all day and night, hiring a tech VA to connect 37 different tools, or investing in some expensive software that promises to do everything for you. But here's the actual truth. Automation doesn't only mean automatic. It definitely doesn't mean complicated, and it sure as shit doesn't mean set it and forget it. Real automation is just anything that makes your work repeatable. And if you don't build those simple systems first, hiring someone will only create more work, not less. So today, I'm breaking down the biggest myth about automating your business, how to know if you actually need to hire, delegate, or automate, and what to fix before you add another person to your team. By the end, you are going to know exactly where to focus so you can get your business running smoothly without breaking it in the process. Wouldn't that be nice? Hey, I'm Carla, and welcome to Not Another Business Coach. I help entrepreneurs fix the back end of their business so they can actually scale without taping together half baked systems or throwing hires at problems they haven't even defined yet. If you're building a business that needs to run without you being involved in every little thing, you are in the right place. Most entrepreneurs overcomplicate automation and underutilize it. They think that automation means setting up fancy tools, hiring a tech person, and connecting 85 different apps with Zapier and some hopes and dreams. So instead of building simple systems they can actually use, they do nothing. Or worse, they decide automation is too hard and default to, I'll just hire someone to handle this. And that's how they end up with a bloated team and a bloated payroll while the business is still a mess and you're still working all the time. Hiring doesn't solve a systems problem, and automation doesn't require fancy tech. And if you skip over both, you're just going to end up in the exact same mess, just with more people involved. The truth is, 90% of what you're doing right now can be systemized, templated, or streamlined in some way. You don't need software, you need structure. So, why do people default to hiring instead of fixing their systems? Well, in a nutshell, CEOs are overwhelmed as fuck. They know things are falling through the cracks. It's not like they're unaware, but they don't have time to breathe, let alone build a backend. So they default to, let me just hire someone to figure this out. But here's the thing, if you don't know what's going on behind the scenes, how the fuck is a new hire supposed to figure it out? They're not a miracle worker. They're just another person walking into a mess you haven't defined. That's why I always say you don't need to do everything, but you do need to know what's going on, and you need to fix what's broken before you hand it off to someone. If you can't explain how something works, you're not ready to delegate it, and you're definitely not ready to hire someone to own it. So here's a better way to think about this. Your job isn't to hire your way out of problems. It's to create a business that runs efficiently with or without more people. So here's the order that I think actually works. First, you want to always be automating. ABA. No, you don't need a coder. You don't need a VA to build fancy automation. And you probably, definitely don't need more tech. You need repeatable workflows. Honestly, automation can be as simple as a saved email template, a checklist for onboarding a client, a repeat task in Asana, or a form that collects information instead of playing email tag. Automation equals repeatability, not magic, not software, just system. And here's a rule. Anyone you hire should also be automating. If someone's doing the same task manually over and over, that's a waste of time and payroll. Second, you want to delegate before you hire. So once you've automated the basics, it's time to look at your team. Delegation equals giving work to people you already have. Hiring equals adding someone new to take work off your plate. But here's the thing. If you already have a VA or a contractor and you're still spending time on low value work, you don't need to hire, you need to delegate better. Delegation only works though when you've documented the process, you're clear on the outcome, and you're willing to let go of perfection. You can't expect someone to run a process you haven't built yet. Last, you want to do these things before you hire anyone. So let's say you've automated what you can, you've delegated what makes sense, and you still need more help. Cool, now you might be ready to hire, but only if these three things are already handled. 1, documenting your core processes. Do not wait until someone starts to explain what you want. Create simple, step-by-step SOPs or Loom videos before they come on board. Think, here's how we do this, follow this to get it done. Feel free to make it better. 2, you want to create templates for repeatable work. So if the role revolves any repeatable work like emails, content, client follow-ups, reporting, things like that, create templates first. You don't want new hires wasting time starting from scratch or inventing their own crazy system that only works for them. And 3, define success clearly. If you can't answer these 3 questions, you're not ready to hire. And these 3 questions are: what are this person's top 3 responsibilities? What does success look like 30, 60 to 90 days in? And how will you measure their performance? Don't micromanage, but don't abdicate responsibility either. Be clear about what great looks like, or you're going to end up frustrated on both sides. Hiring isn't the problem. Hiring too soon without systems, clarity, or direction is. So before you go post that job on LinkedIn or Upwork, start with automation, delegate what you can, then decide if hiring makes sense. And if you want help figuring out where to start and what to fix first, book a free strategy call and let's talk. The link's in the description. Because throwing people at a broken system doesn't make it scalable, it just makes it messier. I'll see you in the next episode.